Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're tackling something literally every single one of us deals with at some point: stress. But we aren't just going to sit here and talk about how overwhelming it is. Instead, we're unpacking a highly practical, everyday toolkit for stress management. By breaking down the fantastic strategies derived from Leanne Thieman's work on physical, mental, and spiritual health, we are going to learn how to actively reclaim our calm. So if you're ready for some focused, structured learning that you can apply immediately to your life, you are in the exact right place.
So before we even open up this toolbox of solutions, I want you to pause for just a second and really ask yourself this question. Take a quick inventory of your body right now. Are your shoulders kind of creeping up toward your ears? Is your jaw clenched? Are you taking shallow breaths? It is so easy to carry tension without even realizing it. Acknowledging your current mental and physical state is the absolute first step in transforming it.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today. We'll start with the nature of stress, then move into quick physical and mental resets, caring for the physical body, releasing your emotional tension, and finally, small acts with a big impact. Section 1. The nature of stress, redefining how we experience pressure. This brilliantly illustrates a foundational concept from Richard Lazarus and Susan Folkman's 1984 research. Notice how the scale balances between what happens to us and how we interpret it. We usually think stress is entirely on that left side, right? The traffic jam, the demanding boss, the looming deadline. But the research shows stress is actually heavily dictated by the right side, how we interpret that situation and evaluate our own ability to handle it. Stress isn't just the external event, it's our appraisal of it. This is incredibly empowering because it means we actually have agency. While we absolutely cannot eliminate all the stressors in the world, traffic will still exist, deadlines are still going to loom, we have the ultimate power to select our responses. Choosing healthy responses is what restores our baseline calm, our energy, and our perspective. And that choice is exactly what the rest of this explainer is all about. Section 2. Quick physical and mental resets, shifting your state in seconds. Now, what's really interesting about this first strategy is its sheer simplicity. 30 seconds, that is all it takes to intentionally hold a gentle smile. Even if you don't feel like smiling, actually, scratch that. Even if you have to force it a little bit, doing so for just half a minute can actively interrupt physical tension and begin to shift your emotional state. It literally tricks your brain into easing up. Try it next time you're stuck on hold with customer service. The second quick reset is relaxation breathing. Slow, deep breathing acts as a direct line to your nervous system, basically telling it to stand down. I want you to physically participate with me right now. Ready? Step 1, breathe in gently. Step 2, pause briefly, just hold it right there. And step 3, exhale slowly, letting all that tension go. Doing just a few cycles of this significantly reduces physical tension right in the moment. Our third quick strategy from Thieman's toolkit is mental rehearsal. Before you walk into that difficult meeting or have that really tough conversation, take a moment to visualize yourself handling the situation with patience, confidence, and self-control. When you picture success beforehand, you're priming your brain to intentionally respond to the situation rather than impulsively react to it. Let's be real for a second, though. We've all been there. What happens when the visualization and the breathing just aren't cutting it and your emotions boil over and become simply too intense? Well, that is when you need to deploy strategy 4. Take a timeout. And no, timeouts aren't just for toddlers. When things peak, you need an emotional circuit breaker. Stepping away briefly to listen to calming music, finding a quick laugh, or just sitting in total silence can instantly diffuse a volatile emotional state. It creates a necessary gap between the trigger and your ultimate response. Let's move to section 3 and see how this builds. Caring for the physical body. Nourishment as a defense system. Strategy 5 is physical movement. Stress causes tension to build up and get trapped in our muscles, but you don't have to run a marathon to release it. Incredibly accessible exercises like going for a quick walk, doing some light stretching, climbing a few flights of stairs, or even a short 10-minute workout actively restore your energy and sharpen your focus by flushing that physical tension right out of your system. Building a right on top of movement is strategy 6, spending time outdoors. When you're stressed, your mind often gets trapped in this repetitive, anxious loop. Stepping outside for some fresh air and making contact with nature acts as a hard reset for your brain.
Even a brief walk around the block provides crucial psychological distance from whatever stressful thoughts were previously consuming you. Next up, strategy 7, eating nutritiously. We all know that under high pressure, the first thing to go out the window is usually our healthy eating habits, right? We reach for the sugar, the caffeine, the quick junk food, but balanced meals with adequate protein are what actually help the body maintain its energy. What you put on your plate directly dictates your emotional stability throughout a stressful day. And rounding out our physical defense system is strategy 8, getting enough sleep. During high-pressure periods, it's so tempting to stay up late working or worrying. But rest is not a luxury, it is a vital recovery tool. Adequate sleep is the absolute foundation for clearer thinking, proper emotional regulation, and deep physical recovery. Without it, every single stressor feels 10 times heavier. Section 4. Releasing your emotional tension, spiritual and expressive outlets. Strategy 9 in our source material highlights the power of prayer. Regardless of your specific belief system, taking time for prayer or deep spiritual reflection creates an essential inner space. It allows for surrender, acknowledging what you truly cannot control, and fosters renewed strength. Most importantly, it helps you place your immediate, overwhelming daily concerns into a much larger, much more comforting perspective. Here is strategy 10, and honestly, it's one of my absolute favorites because it's just so unexpected. Singing. Whether you're belting it out in the shower, in your car, or in a choir, singing is a surprisingly powerful physical and emotional release. It physically changes your breathing patterns and emotionally lifts your spirit, instantly reconnecting you with a sense of joy, hope, and vibrant creativity. Strategy 11 is all about sharing your feelings. Talk to a trusted friend or write your thoughts down in a journal. So, the crucial point is this. When you articulate your feelings, when you actually put a name to the anxiety or the frustration, you actively strip away its power. Naming what you feel reduces its intensity and brings an incredible amount of clarity to your mind. Section 5. Small acts, big impact. The power of choosing self-care. It's easy to look at things like drinking a glass of water, taking a deep breath, or smiling for 30 seconds and think, yeah, that's way too small to make a difference. But as we stack these actions, it is the repeated acts of self-care that transform us. Stacking these 11 small, everyday choices collectively shifts our entire relationship with our environment. They are exactly what moves us from feeling hopelessly overwhelmed to feeling grounded, deeply supported, and completely capable. I want to read this quote verbatim from the source material because it perfectly encapsulates everything we've talked about today. Coping with stress does not mean denying difficulty. It means recognizing that we still have choices. You don't have to pretend things aren't hard. You just have to remember that in the face of that difficulty, you still hold the power to choose your response. So I leave you with this final thought to carry with you as you close out this explainer and step back into your day. Which of these small choices will you make today to reclaim your calm? Will you step outside? Will you take a 30-second breathing break? The tools are right there in your hands. Choose one and start right now. Thanks so much for joining me today and keep learning.